If you've ever searched for the best NVIDIA control panel settings, you've probably seen a Reddit post from 2019 telling you the best ones there are. This video is different. It's 2026. I'm going to go through them, explain what everything does, and you can make your own choice as to what you want to choose. Let's do it. So there's actually two ways to get into NVIDIA Control Panel. You can right click on your desktop, show more options, click on NVIDIA Control Panel. Or you can go to the up arrow on your taskbar, right click on your NVIDIA logo and select NVIDIA Control Panel. We're just going to be focusing on the Manage 3D settings. I'm going to go through them and explain exactly what they do and what the best settings are. Manage 3D settings control how the NVIDIA driver behaves before a game even launches. These aren't magic FPS switches. They're about stability, latency and avoiding bad defaults. We're doing this globally, and I'll explain when you should and shouldn't use per game settings. First up, image scaling. This is NVIDIA's driver level upscaler. It renders the game at a lower resolution and sharpens it. It can be useful on very low end GPUs, but it can clash with DLSS, FSR or in-game scaling, especially in VR. Leave it off unless you know you need it. Ambient occlusion. This forces extra shadowing into games. It looks nice in screenshots, but it costs performance and can cause visual glitches in motion. Modern games already handle this better internally. Leave it off. Anisotropic filtering. This controls how sharp textures look at angles, roads, runways, track surfaces. Leave this application controlled, especially for sim racing titles, but a quick note, some older guides mention anisotropic sample optimization. If you don't see that option in your control panel, that's completely normal. On newer drivers and GPUs, NVIDIA's removed or automated it, and now it's handled internally by the driver. So if it's not here, you can just ignore it. You're already getting the correct behaviour. Next, anti-aliasing FXAA. FXAA is fast, but it softens the entire image. Text, dashboards, cockpit displays, they all get blurry. It's especially bad in VR, so leave it off. Anti-aliasing gamma correction. This improves edge accuracy with no performance cost. This should always be on. Anti-aliasing mode. Never force anti-aliasing globally. Modern games have better built-in solutions. Leave this application controlled. Anti-aliasing transparency. This affects fine geometry like fences and trees. It's a big performance hit with very small benefit. Leave it off. Background application max frame rate. This limits FPS when the game isn't in focus. If you alt tab a lot, if you're benchmarking or testing, you can set this to low. Otherwise, I'd leave it off. CUDA GPUs. Set this to all, always. CUDA system fallback policy. This controls what happens if your GPU runs out of VRAM during CUDA workloads. For gaming and VR, prefer no sysmem fallback. If VRAM overflows into system RAM, you get massive stutters and hitching. It's better to stay GPU only. DSR factors. This renders games above your native resolution and scales them down. It can look great, but the performance hit is massive, completely pointless for VR. Leave it off. Low latency mode. This controls how many frames the CPU queues ahead of the GPU. Leave it off globally. If you need lower latency for a specific game, enable it per game instead. Max frame rate. Frame limit should be set in game through RTSS or in VR software, not here. Monitor technology. If your display supports G-Sync, select it here. If not, fixed refresh is fine. Multi-frame sampled anti-aliasing, MFAA. barely supported now and can cause inconsistent visuals. Leave it off. OpenGL GDI compatibility. This controls how OpenGL applications interact with legacy Windows GDI drawing. For modern games and VR, this should be left on auto or default. Changing it won't improve any performance, and forcing it can cause compatibility issues with older tools or overlays. So the simple rule is, if you see it, leave it alone. OpenGL rendering GPU. Leave this on auto select unless you're troubleshooting very old software. Power management mode. This is one of the most important settings here. Set it to prefer maximum performance. This stops the GPU from downclocking mid-race or mid-flight, which can cause stutters. Preferred refresh rate. Set this to the highest available, always. Shader cache size. Leave this on driver default. Clearing the shader cache is a troubleshooting step, not something you should do regularly. See my video on my channel for more information. Texture filtering, anisotropic sample optimization. This reduces texture sampling quality slightly to save performance. On modern GPUs, the performance gain is tiny and the image quality loss isn't worth it, so set it to off. Texture filtering negative LOD bias, level of detail. Set this to clamp. This reduces shimmering on distant textures, especially noticeable in sim racing. Texture filtering quality. Set this to high quality. Modern GPUs can handle it quite easily. Texture filtering trilinear optimization. Leave it off. Tiny performance gain. Possible texture issues. Threaded optimization. Leave this on auto. Let the driver decide how to use CPU threads. Triple buffering. Only applies when VSync is on and adds latency. Leave it off. Vertical sync. Leave this off here. Use G-Sync, in-game VSync, or your VR runtime instead. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames. Set this to 1. Lower values reduce VR latency. Virtual reality variable rate supersampling. Leave this off unless a game explicitly supports it. Vulkan OpenGL present method. This controls how frames are presented in Vulkan and OpenGL applications. Just leave it on auto. Changing it rarely improves any performance and can cause compatibility issues in some games. So if it's here for you, the simple rule is leave it alone. So there you go. That's every setting, top to bottom. No magic, no FPS tricks, just stable, sensible defaults. So set these once. Only really adjust if you need to per game, and don't try and copy settings from a 5-year-old guide. If you want to see more VR sim racing optimization guides, there are a few on my channel if you'd like to take a look. So if you found any of this useful, give us a like, consider subscribing, and as usual, thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.